Good morning from sunny, beautiful Los Angeles. Well, hoping it'll be sunny later. Steve DaSilva out here on the new Royal Enfield Shotgun 650. Now, this bike was teased at EICMA a long time ago, but we're finally seeing it in production guise, which is not that different from the concept we already saw. I've ridden the bike this is based on, the Super Meteor 650, and I loved that thing. In fact, I can't get it out of my head every time I ride my own bike. But what makes this one different? Is it just a Super Meteor with a single seat, or is there a little more special sauce going on here? Well, that's what we're here to find out. So when I say this bike is based on the Super Meteor, what does that mean? Well, the 650 engine comes from that, but it also comes from the Interceptor and the Continental GT. It's an engine we've known for a while from Royal Enfield, and it's an engine we've liked for a while. The transmission feels nice, the torque curve is just great for city riding. It's a fun kit. But this bike also borrows its frame from the Super Meteor. That single loop setup that was built for that bike shows up again here. And that's what makes you think, well, okay, I get it, this is just a single seat Super Meteor. But that's not quite right. For starters, the suspension on this bike is totally different from the Super Meteor. It's still all Showa components, so it's not, some sort of revolution, but the actual design and geometry is a departure. Those suspension adjustments, combined with a shortened chain, actually reduce the wheelbase of this bike compared to the Super Meteor. The Shotgun 650 is also a total departure in the ergonomics department. One of the things that kind of threw me about the Super Meteor was its forward controls. I got used to them by the end of my time with the bike, but I never really got interested in them. They were never something I really loved and wanted to keep using. I figured they'd eventually come out with a mid-control kit for that bike, but I haven't yet seen that. If it's out there, I certainly haven't seen where they're selling it. But instead, this bike, the Shotgun, seems to fill that niche. And that's not the only ergonomic change. The seat is higher, the bars are lower, your feet are further back, everything about this is a little more aggressive. So what is the Shotgun 650 like to ride? So many concept bikes aren't really made with the idea that they're ever going to go into production. They aren't made with ergonomics considered or legality, and they're often a little compromised once they get into the real world. But the Shotgun's not really like that. It was always intended to be production ready. The concept was really more to see if anyone would actually buy it. So, accordingly, the Shotgun is fun. I mean, it's a great engine, we knew that. But the ergonomics are, at least to my sensibilities, a step above the Super Meteor. The mid-controls are nice. The narrower bars take some getting used to for me, but that's only because I ride like I've been doing dirt for years. If you're more into street bikes, you'll feel right at home here. Plus, narrow bars are great for getting through LA traffic. If I seem distracted, it's because I've never done this before. But this is kind of a perfect example of what the Shotgun is going to excel at. The 650 has the low-end torque to kind of do the stop-and-go thing. It's narrow enough to fit between lanes. The rear rack, which comes from the factory with a seat mounted to it, you can pull that seat off, and you can use that rear rack for carrying groceries or getting your laptop to work. Because you're going to need a whole rear rack for your laptop. The thing is a style symbol, sure. It's just meant to be a factory-modified Super Meteor, if we're really boiling it down. But it doesn't compromise on the practicality. jury is out so far on whether it's more comfortable than the Super Meteor. By this point in that ride, I was absolutely loving the thing, and it wouldn't be another couple hours until my lower back started to cry for help. And with this thing's lean forward position, I could see it being equally uncomfortable in different ways, but that's also kind of what you expect with this style of bike. Enfield says it's cross-genre, it's completely unique. Most buyers are probably just going to see it as a bobber, and that's fair. That's not what this is. You know, a cruiser-based single-seat bike, yeah, we call that a bobber around these parts. But the geometry isn't quite a bobber. The riding experience is sportier. There's a little bit more of that Interceptor or Continental GT spirit here. My question is, are buyers going to know that? The bike doesn't visually tell you what it's like to ride. It tells you that it's a bobber. Even with that second seat attached, it still looks like a bobber. It doesn't really display, maybe unless you see the bike side by side, how different the geometry is, how different it's going to feel to ride. This is the kind of bike that really benefits from a test ride. On the rare occasion you can get a test ride on anything. I will say, perhaps it's the hotel bed last night, perhaps it's the specter of old age creeping up on me here at 27 of God's own years old, but I can feel this in my back a little more than I did the Super Meteor. That one took longer to get to me, and it was kind of unbearable on my tailbone after a few hours. This one I'm already feeling more, with its leaned over riding position and mid-controls. Granted, at nearly 6 feet, I'm probably taller than average. So the lean may not be quite the same for someone of a shorter height. But that's going to be up to you and your ride to figure out.